Hey, yo! Okay, settle down, settle down. So, you might have heard the rumors that I was used as the model for Venom in Marvel Rivals. And today, I'm here to say... it's 100% true. Even the muscles? Yep, the muscles. It's all me. What about the toes? And the toes? Yep, of course. What about the cheeks and the bulge? Come on. Come on. No further questions.
Macro, come on. Macro.
No further questions.
Macro, what about Invisible Woman?
I hope I don't get copyrighted for this.
Venom! Venom, Venom, Venom!
For noobs. Venom is one of the most unique vanguards in Marvel Rivals. Unlike other vanguards that have the ability to shield and protect teammates, Venom ain't built like that. He's the quintessential dive tank of this game. So of course, as a Winston main on that one indie game, I gravitated towards Venom. And also because he's double cheeked up like goddamn. But who is Venom exactly? Well, if you only know Venom from his 3 movies, you might think that he's a goofy dude, especially with Tom Hardy's very strange portrayal of Eddie Brock.
You do not deserve nice things.
And you also might think Venom is his own thing because Spider-Man doesn't show up in any of his movies, but that's simply not true. You should ignore all of that because that ain't the real Venom. Let's talk about the real Venom from the comics. In the comics, there's this alien symbiote that normally just looks like black sticky goo, and this symbiote needed a host to survive. And it found one originally with Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. Peter thought it was just a cool black suit that gave him extra powers like unlimited web fluid. But after taking it to Reed Richards to examine it, he found out it was an alien and was trying to permanently bond with Peter. So Peter and the Fantastic Four tried to contain it, but the symbiote escaped and later bonded with Peter again against his will. So Peter ended up finding out its weakness was sonic waves and used big church bells to get the symbiote off him. But the symbiote ended up on another person who happened to be at this church below, Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock was a failed reporter who was kicked out of the Daily Bugle for publishing false stories, and then he blamed his failing career on Spider-Man. He also became pretty depressed and found solace in that church that just so happened to be where the symbiote was when it fell off Peter. However, the symbiote detected Eddie's hate of Spider-Man, so the symbiote knew it could bond with him and try to take down Spider-Man. So together, the symbiote and Eddie Brock became Venom, which ended up looking like a big Spider-Man with a huge tongue. And Venom became one of Spider-Man's most iconic villains, and for years he would terrorize Peter. Spider-Man would defeat Venom and put him in a maximum security prison where Eddie was cellmates with Cletus Cassidy, a serial killer. And when the symbiote broke Eddie out of jail, it also left a small part of it to bond with Cletus to become Carnage. And Carnage was so evil that Spider-Man and Venom would eventually team up and form a truce to defeat Carnage. Which leads us to the more modern version of Venom. The symbiote and Eddie start to become more of an anti-hero vigilante in the comics, as they felt a need to protect the innocent. I mean, they still kill people, but you know, they're kind of on the good side now. Also, after doing this research, Spider-Man 3 actually did a pretty decent job at like giving Eddie Brock his backstory. They just had a terrible casting choice with Topher Grace. Like, why did they choose this guy? Also, this line is unhinged.
I come before you today to ask you for one thing. I want you to kill Peter Parker.
While the Venom symbiote does have a ton of other hosts, and trust me, there are a lot of different hosts that it had. In Marvel Rivals, Venom is Eddie Brock. And in this game, he's just oozing with personality. Pun intended. So now that you know a little bit about Eddie Brock's backstory, let's learn how to play Venom, shall we? So Venom in Marvel Rivals is a vanguard, which makes sense because he's huge. His muscles are huge, his tongue is huge, his piggies are just out there for free. And as I mentioned before, he's double cheeked up. So while he is a vanguard, he's not really protecting the team. He's a dive tank. And his main attack is Dark Predation, which has spiky tendrils attack opponents for 20 damage each. While it seems like a close range attack, it actually has deceptively long range, hitting enemies up to 15 meters away. This attack is actually decent for dealing a ton of damage to enemies, as you frontline for the team, which can definitely net you kills. And unlike other vanguards right now, he's the only vanguard that has the ability to headshot opponents. 2 of his attacks can kill a squishy, so it's not bad. His first ability is Venom Swing, which allows you to launch forward and swing around. This is your main way of moving around the map and diving in or just escaping with your life. It's like Spider-Man, but worse, because you only get one and sometimes it's like super janky and you die for no reason.
Fantastic!
but that might just be a me problem. Unlike Spider-Man, you have an ability that you can use in the air called Frenzied Arrival. This slams opponents for up to 65 damage and knocks them up towards you. This ability is the dive attack. You just go in and disrupt everyone and kill whoever you can, or just be annoying and get away. It also can be used at a pretty low angle, making it great for horizontal movement. And as a member of the Spider-Man family, sort of, he can also climb and run on walls, which is nice.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
Sometimes you can just be chilling on the ceiling and then you're just waiting to strike down. It's awesome. Just don't wait too long up there, because if you're not doing anything, your team might just die without you. His next ability is an actual tanking ability called Symbiotic Resilience. This ability will grant you bonus health, and you will get more bonus health the lower your health is. It's a minimum of 100 health, but it can be over 120% of your lost health. So this is how Venom just survives in this game. You launch yourself in, take a ton of damage while attacking everyone, and then when you're about to die, you spam this button, and out of nowhere, you're tankier than everything. And by the time you're super low, you can just get out and heal because all your cooldowns are back. It's like Wrecking Ball from that one indie game, but better because you're Venom! Just watch out. If you get too low and stunned, you won't be able to use the ability, and then you'll just feed the enemy team. It's embarrassing. You noob. His final ability is Cellular Corrosion. This ability latches tentacles on enemies in an 8-meter radius. Enemies hit by it will be 15% slower, and if they don't leave that radius in 3 seconds, they will take 80 damage. So after diving in on multiple enemies, you can immediately latch onto them. And if they're too slow to get out, they'll probably die. It's such a great spacing tool because, yeah, most characters can get out of it, but that's okay if it puts them in a bad position. And when you latch onto 3 or more people, you know you're doing the Venom shenanigans right. Now his ultimate is Feast of the Abyss. This ultimate has Venom become a huge circular black goo pile, and then you come up and chomp on enemies in a 7-meter radius, dealing 50% of the enemy's health, then a bonus 50 damage. And on top of that, all the damage you do to enemies will be converted into bonus health for you. So this is his main way of getting big kills. If enemies are all grouped up on the point, this will help eliminate them all. The bonus health you get also means that you can use this ultimate more defensively to stay alive, which sometimes can be clutch to win a fight. You aren't invulnerable when you're all gooed up, so it ain't a get out of jail free card, so use the ultimate wisely. Now, once you combine all of these abilities together, you'll be the most annoying Vanguard in existence, and it's beautiful. Come on. Listen to these pro tips. Number 1. Venom pairs well with most dive heroes like Iron Fist, Magic, Wolverine, but he pairs extremely well with his arch nemesis, Spider-Man. They can swing in together and just absolutely destroy backlines. But also, Spider-Man, as well as Penny Parker, receive a cool bonus ability called Touch of Clintar, which when paired with Venom, gives Spider-Man and Penny the symbiote attack that's super useful. Also, Venom receives a bonus 150 health with this team up, but Venom does receive this bonus even if Spider-Man and Penny are not on his team. It's considered a seasonal bonus, which means the team up might not exist next season. Who knows? We're in season 1. By next season, we'll see if this still exists. Number 2. Just like Spider-Man, by default, Venom will have automatic swing turned on. But if you watched my Spider-Man for Noobs video, you already know that you gotta turn this off, okay? So here's an additional bonus tip. Use his Cellular Corrosion before you use your ultimate, because it will bring the enemies closer, making you more likely to land on multiple enemies at once. This combination is what helps you actually guarantee kills, because individually his attacks are kind of weak, but together Venom's strong. Number 3. Try not to use your Venom swing to dive in if possible. Try and save it to get out. So instead, use the wall climbing ability that you have to get to a really high area and then dive in from there, and then save the swing for retreating and getting back to your teammates. This will seriously prolong your life and make you an unkillable beast. Number 4. Venom is the king of stalling a point. You can sustain and survive for a long time, which can be what your team needs to win a fight. If most of your team is still spawning in and you have your ultimate, you can go in, stall the point, and when you've used all your abilities, your ultimate will keep you alive, and then your abilities will be back off cooldown by that point. And now your whole team is back. So yeah, if you need to stall and get back to point, switch to Venom. He can get to the point stupid fast. Overall, Venom is an insanely fun character that is actually a very creative design. He could have just been Spider-Man but bigger, but instead we have a truly unique Vanguard that plays so differently from the rest of the cast. But how is he for noobs? For noobs, I would say he's pretty easy to play. You'll just need to be good at managing your cooldowns, but he's ultimately not that hard to get value out of. Just know he's probably one of the few Vanguards that can't solo Vanguard. He does better when there's another tank out there, like Magneto, who can just give you bubbles as you go in, which I guess is like an extra little bonus pro tip in the middle of my For Noobs outro thing. So if you stayed this long, congrats, you got a bonus tip. But what do you think? Do you like Venom in this game? Do you think he's easy to play or hard to play? Do you think he's overpowered and needs nerfs or underpowered and needs buffs? Let me know in the comments down below. Per usual, also let me know in the comments which character you want me to make a video on next. Type that character for noobs, and then the most popular ones I'll pick. Okay guys, I gotta do some more ass modeling, so I'll catch you later. Ya noob.